Welcome guys to a brand new video on Wuthering waves. Now I want to talk a little bit more about the whole Zany situation because things in the Reddit page is actually heating up. The community is actually being heated up by this whole conversation about Zany. Now we have a couple of hours left actually before Zany comes out. I'm not actually sure if this video will be released before she comes out, but I wanted to release this video because the community is speaking out or speaking a lot about the situation, and of course including myself as a content creator. Now I did see a particular post that kind of framed it as content creators milking and saying like overblowing this Zany situation, which okay, I kind of understand, especially when they pull out like receipt of people saying, oh, if you pulled Russia you're bricking your account, and all Brandt is the whole issue with Brandt. But I do think at the same time it's kind of valid. The issue with Brandt still remains. Like Brandt without his weapon drops down a tier. I'm not saying it's like it's showing you like evidence of, oh, slowly what the devs have been doing, and then bam, we have the Zany situation. Things were starting off little by little. We picked on it, we got Brandt as an issue, and then bam, we got character like Zany, okay, after picking on Brandt for a bit, which actually kind of shows us that yes, it was kind of right to call out Brandt's build or the way Brandt was kind of built, because it kind of shows us the direction the devs were taking before they released Zany, and then you see the massive issue. So I kind of don't understand those takes like, oh, content creators have been milking this thing for a long time with characters, like, oh, they're overblowing characters having issues. It wasn't really the case with Brandt. He does have an issue if you don't have his weapon. His old damage drops down a tier. Like, let's say this character with his weapon is S tier. Without his weapon, it drops down to A tier. It's as simple as that. Now, again, this shows us that, oh, they're already looking at making characters reliant on specific weapons or probably reliant on specific niche, and then bam, we got Zany who relies on a specific spectral frazzle stuff, and she kind of needs Phoebe. Okay, I say needs, but like the reason we say needs is because the huge damage drop off without Phoebe is it's insane, and that's why we phrase it as needs. But as you can see, little by little the devs were showing us stuff, and then bam, Zany came out. It wasn't just sudden, guys. It wasn't sudden. They've been showing us that this is what they've been doing, and that's why we have the situation right now. So I'm gonna quickly pull up the Reddit pages, okay, because I think it's worth looking at right now. So I've pulled up three specific one. The community is annoying me. X will opinion. Oh, I'm not reading this. I'm not lying. I'll read this in my spare time, but I'm not reading this in this video. And then we got this as well. I kind of skimmed this as well. But this general opinion, like, new characters get shown, content creators and wannabe Reddit pros start nitpicking the kit before releases, character get releases, actual plays fine once released, community is stable. It's not the fact that the character is unusable, it's the fact that without specific stuff the character drops off. Okay, we don't really like that because it just kind of leans into the Genshin element, you know, a bit more, yo, you get a big boost if you spend money. We don't really like that in general when you play a game. Okay, anyways, onto the next drama starts. Happens with Brandt, happened with Zany as we speak. Again, Brandt did have, like, if you take a look at a tier list, I'm not gonna, but if you look at a tier list, Brandt with his weapon is amazing, like absolutely amazing. Brandt is an amazing character with his weapon, trust me, one of my favorite character. Without his weapon, I don't think he's gonna be that good, as good as he can be, okay, and that's upsetting. Okay, and again, that falls into the same issue. We don't have 4-stars. We don't have good 4-star weapons. We don't have good 4-star characters. It just sucks in general. Okay, and that's why it's annoying. We don't have options. Okay, and then creating a whole character around one specific niche and not having other characters that we can replace is just going to annoy everyone. Of course, no one wants to play this specific team if we know that this other team will give us like a huge 40% boost. Okay, and especially, oh, if you spend you get that huge bonus. It kind of leans into that, oh, you want to spend to actually enjoy the way the character is, because at the same time it kind of affects Zany's play style as well. You're being locked off. So this is another analysis without leaks, okay, showing us pre-analysis stuff without Phoebe, And the thing that really struck out to me is also Phoebe with her weapon. It goes insane with Zany. Okay, increases attack by 12%, dealing damage. Okay, where is this part? Okay, there you go. Amplifies the spectral phasal damage on targets around the active resonator by 30% for 30 seconds. Effects of the same name cannot be stacked, but this is a massive 30% amplification to basically Zany's damage, because she basically does spectral phasal damage. And then having Phoebe with the actual skill also increases her damage, again granting 100% spectral phasal damage amplification. Okay, it goes crazy. Zany with a weapon plus actually having Zany goes crazy for the character. Now of course you see that 130% damage amplification. It doesn't mean that without Phoebe you're not going to be doing 130% damage, okay, or you're losing out to 130% damage. That's not how it really translates in the game. Okay, you're gonna lose a bunch of damage basically. The actual number, it's something we have to test when she comes out, but yeah, you're losing out on a bunch of damage amplification to the overall spectral phasal ability. Okay, and this is like, why? Okay, of course, again, you can still clear the game probably. I don't know, I haven't tested this out, but I actually did see, you know what, I did see on the Wuthering Waves Reddit, someone actually cleared the entirety of the tower. There we go, this is it, without any limited 5-star character. So it can be done. Okay, it can be done. So this is absolutely amazing, but at the same time, do you really think this is easy? Okay, this is definitely a very difficult thing to do. This gamer definitely spent a lot of time to get this clear. It is possible, but it requires way more effort. Why wouldn't any player want to have an easier time in Tower of Adversity? Okay, that's why I think posts like this is crazy good. Of course, showing you that you can clear the game. Just because you can doesn't mean you can, because it does take a lot of skill, a lot of dedication, a lot of time actually farming the echoes, the best substats, everything to make that character good. Okay, but anyways, I do think this whole situation can literally be avoided if the game freaking releases 4-star characters, 4-star weapons that are actually good. Okay, we need more varieties, more specific characters that can fit into teams. Okay, if you're going to try and create a new niche, okay, a new niche of teams with spectral phasal, error erosion, I feel this is going to be another issue with cafeteria, whatever her name is, when it comes out. If you don't have Chicona, possibly, we don't know, actually, we don't know. Okay, we don't know what I can't believe what the character's name is. I've forgotten the character's name. You know who I'm talking about. Okay, the most anticipated character to be coming out. We're gonna have the same discussion. Is Cachona important? Is she a must-have? Is she as important to there we go, this character basically, is she as important to make this character work? That's something we have to check. Again, error erosion, literally only one character in this game does it at this current moment. Okay, and by the time this Cachona character, the Cachona comes out, that'll be a second character that can do error erosion, but she's premium. She's a premium 5-star character. And then it's gonna be Cafeteria or Cateria, whatever her name is. She's hoping her kit is not as restrictive as like with Zany, with the team elements being, or team specific niche being very, very important. Okay, but again, I still think even if she doesn't, even if we don't need Cachiona with you know, I'm gonna actually put the character's name. We know we know who we're talking about. I'm gonna put this just now. There we go. There we go. This character, Cafeteria. Let me know how to pronounce this character's name. I'm calling her Cafeteria right now, though. When Cafeteria comes out, if it turns out she does not need Chicona, that's fine. But at the same time, we still need more characters that applies error erosion. Okay, don't create this whole new element and a whole new niche if you're not going to have characters in the game that can actually allow you to apply it. Okay, or having team flexibility. Okay, just like with like Genshin when they released Hyper Bloom, it was kind of like not top tier until they finally released Nahida, and then that whole element bloomed and blossomed to be something amazing, and then it kind of died down right now because no new characters are coming out for that. But anyways, this new style that the devs are going into is only being annoying because we don't have 4-star, 5-star character, 4-star 4-star weapons, 4-star characters that can actually be a replacement to what they're doing. If Bronze had a 4-star weapon that actually was decent with him, okay, and didn't make his weapon kind of seem like a must-have to really get this guy going, then it would not be an issue. Content creators would not have talked about Bronze, okay? Yes, you kind of still want his weapon if you actually want to see this guy do the best he can. Of course, you don't need it, but again, knowing that his weapon just instantly makes it easier to build this character is pretty nice, okay? And who else did they say people butchered? Oh yeah, Russia. They weren't technically wrong. You don't need to summon this character. I honestly think if you're free to play, this character is the most like you don't need to summon for, because the difference between Russia and Sanha is literally like 5%. This character is a premium character. You probably would lose 50-50. It's just way too expensive to pull this character for if you're a free to play player. It pretty much, I wouldn't even recommend it to a free to play player unless you really like the character. I would not recommend you guys summoning for Russia at all. Okay, even with Whimpering Waves, she's good, but like Gian is still amazing. You can still use other characters, other teams, okay? Like, you don't necessarily need Russia just for that one content in the game. So again, was content creator wrong about this character? They kind of overblown it or over like dramatized it because they're content creators and they want money and views, but they weren't really wrong with the message. Russia is a character you didn't need, okay? She didn't break your account, but if you think about summoning for this character, losing 50-50 at around 71 pulls, and then still trying to pull this character as a free-to-play player, you probably made a questionable decision, is what I'm gonna say, unless you really love the character. But if you lost 50-50 and at 61 pulls, it would have been absolutely ass. And then with Bronze, you needed to summon for him, hopefully not lose 50-50 and then try and pull his weapon. That was a big ask for free-to-play players. But at the same time, of course, free-to-play players can't get everything. That is fine, but just give free-to-play players 4-star alternatives to his weapon, okay? I don't know what the drop-off is with him and his thingy, with his weapon and without his weapon. Actually, I don't know if Pridewin has actually calculated it. No, let's see, it would be in the build section, right? So with Emerald of Genesis, oh snap, okay, that's kind of good amount of increase in damage, I can't lie. Yeah, it's not like insane, but also the fact that now with like sequences, the boost you're getting with sequences is actually increasing even more. Again, something Genshin did, but Genshin took like 4 years to start doing that shit. Again, I don't know. I kind of understand why people are overblowing this situation. I think it's kind of understandable, but I do understand this guy's comments as well. But at the same time, he's complaining about people complaining, and he's complaining. But again, I'll give this an upvote anyways, because this is a Reddit page. We're meant to have discussions, okay? I don't really care if people have a disagreeing, if someone makes a post disagreeing with me. Anyways, I'm not reading this, but I'll reread this in my spare time. I want to see what this ex-whale opinion on the game so far is. Yeah, early game was amazing. I honestly can't lie. Early game, Wuthering Waves, trying to build up your account, getting that echoes was really fun. It felt like a progress. Now it's just grindy and not fun because you're trying to min-max everything at this point. But early game was so fun, especially I don't think I streamed it that much, but early game was pretty good. That was so fun. Yeah, this was actually the fun. Yeah, this right there. It kind of felt like an actual like open world game that you would trying to explore. Now it's just a full-on gacha game, which it was always a gacha game, but still, I missed the early game for that reason particularly. Anyways, let me know down in the comment section what you guys think about the whole Zany situation. Do you think content creators are overblowing it like this? I still think content creators did have merit calling out Russia, being like, oh, you don't need her. It's as simple as that. I mean, I made a video saying you shouldn't pull for Russia unless you liked her, because she didn't really improve your accounts by that much, okay? And it will just cost too much. And with Bronze, I also made a video calling out Bronze needing his weapon as annoying, especially when we don't have 4-star alternative. Again, that was still a valid opinion to have. And now with Zany needing Phoebe, or you lose a bunch of damage and the team rotation just sucks even more and is annoying, yeah, that's going to be annoying. Again, Zany's coming out in a couple of hours. We need to wait and see. But if she is as iffy as it sounds, then it's going to be annoying. But I still want to pull for Kachion. You know, the character's name is so hard for me to pronounce. It's been your boy AC Gamer. Let me know down in the comment section if you agree, and I'm out.